and welcome to the Homemade Podcast Sports. This is your host, J Pops.
And welcome back to the Homemade Podcast of Sports with your host, J Pops. Guys, today's date is Thursday, February 25th, 2021. It is a beautiful day in the great city of Houston, Texas. All right, people, I'm coming to you from the comfort of my own home, only because I believe it's supposed to be raining a little bit today. So I didn't want to get wet out there, doing a podcast, stuff like that. So didn't want to get rained on, so I'm coming to you from the comfort of my own home. On this latest edition of the Homemade Podcast of Sports, guys, Bobby Taylor, cornerback Bobby Taylor from out of Katy High School in Katy, Texas, 4-star, has committed to the Texas A&M University. Bobby, young man, welcome to Aggie Land. Hashtag Gigamaggots. What's ironic is that, and what I didn't know, and for the ones out there that didn't know as well, and now I'm about to tell you, and I found this out on the Texas A&M radio show, TexAgs, was that Bobby Taylor's mother, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows this that's close to him and friends or whatnot. Anyway, Bobby Taylor's mother is the owner of the Turkey Leg Hut. I'm going to say this once again. Bobby Taylor's mother is the actual owner of the Turkey Leg Hut, which is located in Houston, Texas. If you're in Houston, Texas, or even if you're not from Houston, Texas, this is for guys that come down here for visits and stuff like that. We all in Houston, Texas, period, know about the Turkey Leg Hut. That is one of the most busiest franchises out there as of today. All right. I haven't been there yet, me personally, but I've heard from many people all around Houston that place is damn good. All right. So once again, man, Bobby Taylor's mother is the owner of the Turkey Leg Hut. Let's not let that be way bigger than Bobby Taylor committing himself, okay? I know a lot of people blow that out of proportion, things like that. But Bobby Taylor, once again, has committed to Texas A&M. And when Bobby Taylor committed, as soon as he committed, Texas A&M moved up in the class of 2022 football rankings on 247 Sports to the number 4 class in the nation overall. It's still early. It is nothing but February. Hell, we haven't even much hit the spring game. We haven't hit the summer. We haven't played any game in 2021, of course, and stuff like that, nor have gotten an early signing day, et cetera, et cetera. But for Texas A&M to be in the number 4 spot this early says a lot about what this program has built under Jimbo Fisher, recruiting-wise. Okay, recruiting-wise, man, we're going to end up with another top 10 class for the 4th year in a row. 4th year in a row, we're going to end up, I'm sorry. It's either 3rd or 4th year in a row, okay? That we're going to end up with a top 10 class. In my mind, if we get these commits on who I'm about to talk about just shortly, if we land these commits, and like I told you yesterday, in a perfect world, if we land all of these commits, we will undoubtedly have the number 1 and number 2 class, which will make Texas A&M history. And I said yesterday, man, I don't believe that this class was going to top that 2019 class, but if we're already at number 4, and when it was all said and done, that 2019 recruiting class was at number 4, man, I don't believe there's no doubt in my mind we end up probably with number 1 class. Depending on how this season looks, in which I've already told you guys, it's out of Texas A&M and those guys in Tuscaloosa to win the SEC West. See, understand this. We don't necessarily have to win the SEC to claim the number one class. We just need to take a step further in going to the actual SEC title game, in which we haven't ever done, okay? If we can just take that step and get to the SEC title game, that will shake up everything recruiting-wise, momentum, okay? That recruiting momentum will be off the charts, all right? We will have asserted ourselves to not only the SEC West, but to the SEC period, okay? Understand that. If we make it to that title game, we will no doubt have number one class, and that will be in 247 sports history, just like when Georgia claimed number one class. That's their first ever number one class, period, in all of their history of football, okay? This will be our first ever number one class if we get there in the history of our program, period. All right? And if we get that number one class, all I can tell you is that, man, be ready for the next class to be number 2, number 3. Be ready for the next class to be 5, 6, and so on and so on. All right? So before I get into it here, and this is not going to be a long episode, and from now on, guys, I just want you to know that these videos will be dropping at about 4 p.m. Whenever I do these podcasts, okay? That is going to be the official time. Please set your alarms, your clocks, and things like that. But if you are subscribed to the channel already, you should get an alert ASAP as soon as the video drops. All right, so keep that in mind. 4 p.m. This is when these podcast videos will drop on YouTube. All right, so just keep that in mind for me. But before we get started, of course, guys, let's not forget this is still Black History Month, okay? But this guy here, this was the first black basketball player for Texas A&M University. His name was Mario Brown. Mario Brown was known as Bro in rap, I believe. But he was the first African-American men's basketball player at Texas A&M University. All right, so please, guys, keep that in mind. Once again, he was the first African-American on that Texas A&M basketball team. All right, so please keep that in mind. Mario Brown, once again. All right, so guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into it. Once again, congrats to Bobby Taylor. Bobby Taylor has committed to Texas A&M University. I love it, love it, love it. This momentum for 2022 is off the charts. Harold Perkins, we're waiting on you. Okay? That's all I'm going to say about that. Harold Perkins, and let's put the finishing touches on it. All right. So, who are the next likely Texas A&M commits? Texas A&M did not pick up its first commitment in the class of 2022 until mid-January. Now, just over a month later, the Aggies have 7 pledges, and the class is ranked number 4 in the country. All right? Jimbo Fisher and company are not even close to being done. Say that once again. We're not even close to being done. There will always be a number of prospects that wait until late in the process to make decisions, but the Aggies are likely to add even more members to the class in the near future. Okay? If you are looking for who are likely to be the next few commitments, these are the best bets. Okay? So, God, this is in a perfect world. I'm about to name these commitments. I need you guys to listen. Please focus, okay? Fort Bend Marshall wide receiver Chris Marshall. If you want the odds-on favorites to be a next commitment, the 6'3", 185-pound wide receiver is it. Marshall played football for the first time ever this past season and was absolutely dominant. He was a huge riser in the recent top 247 and will provide the Aggies with serious size and athleticism at the position. He has said he wants to wait until after the season to commit, but it would not be a shock to see it happen a lot sooner than that. Once again, this player's name is Chris Marshall. He's a wide receiver. For any of you guys, I know that wide receiver depth and the wide receiver in general is what we want to see break out. These are the guys who we want to see break out. Jimbo Fisher is still recruiting wide receivers, people. All right. Please understand that this is a pro style offense. In a pro style offense, you have only 3 positions to put. Now you can still do a 5 wide now. Please do not get that twisted. But a 3 wide receiver set is what you're going to run like 80% of the time. That does not mean everybody does not get a chance to get on the field. Do not believe in that. All right. With that 3 wide receiver set, and depending on how many wide receivers you want to use and how many wide receivers that aren't red-shirted or injured, and et cetera, you can rotate all game long. That's what makes your pro style dangerous. When he was at Florida State, that's what made his pro style system with those big, long, tall, lengthy wide receivers dangerous. Dangerous. All right. Anywho, so this is the cornerback that I could not think of the name of on yesterday, but I got him now. I know his name now. This is in a perfect world. This is another guy who I want to go along with Denver Harris. Okay. Clear Lake cornerback Julian Humphrey, the number 149 overall prospect in the nation, per the industry generated 247 Sports composite. Humphrey has a set commitment date of April 1st. April 1st. Now that I did not know. We're getting closer and closer. A&M and Arizona State are standing out the most to him at this point. He plays in the same district as a trio of Aggie commits and is close to them. In the maroon and white will be considered the leader for the 4-star defensive back a little over a month before his announcement. So just think, if we get that guy, do you think we'll still stay at number 4? No, not at all. We'll move up to number 3. We'll be number 3 class in the nation. We'll be number 3 class in the nation. All right. Also, this is another guy. I'm just naming all of these commits, okay? I'm naming all of these targets. Humble Summer Creek, offensive lineman Kevin Banks, and he's a 5-star as well. Now a composite 5-star prospect, the 6'5", 300-pound junior has been very high on the Aggies since decommitting from Oklahoma State this past summer. Banks is close to the current A&M commitments and really likes Josh Henson. All right. Shout out to Josh Henson. That's the offensive line coach. He has retooled that offensive line in a way that we have not seen in a very long time before. Okay. He says he will likely wait until right before the season to commit, but there's always a chance he decides to get it over with. The Aggies are in very good shape. Okay. Summer Creek High School. Ironically, I pass by the high school every day, right when I go to work. It is a newly built high school. It hadn't been up all for that long, I don't believe. But I pass by the high school every day. Crazy, right? Fayetteville, Arkansas wide receiver. And this is a new crystal ball guy here. Fayetteville, Arkansas wide receiver Isaiah I'm not going to try to pronounce that. It's Sategena. If you guys know the pronunciation of that, please put it in the comments. You saw a new crystal ball come in Wednesday. So this crystal ball came in Wednesday, of course, afternoon in favor of A&M from Steve Wilfong, another wide receiver. The 5'11", 170-pound speedster plans to play football and run track in college, and both sports are recruiting him to Aggie Land. His father is a track coach at Arkansas, but the 4-star prospect is highest on A&M at the moment as he wants to forge his own path. Santagna, I think that's pronounced Santagna, does not have a commitment timeline at this point, but could decide to make a decision at any point. All right, keep that in mind. Grayson, Georgia, Lambert, wide receiver Kojo Antwi. This guy I was talking about yesterday. Texas A&M was really high on him, and he's really high on Texas A&M at the moment. Texas A&M wants to load up with speed at the wide receiver spot for the 6'1", 180-pound Antwi. Fits that bill. Ranked as the nation's number 94 overall prospect, he has a top 3 of A&M, Georgia, and Ohio State. He had planned to make a July decision, but with the dead period being extended, may push that back. A&M really wants to get him on campus even if it's just for a self-guided tour. He really likes the Aggie staff and is getting close to the A&M commits. All right, so please continue to keep an eye out for that guy. As of right now, we are the front runner for that wide receiver. Once again, he's a 4-star wide receiver, number 94 in the nation. This depth chart is getting stacked. So like I told you guys last year, some time back, the reason why a lot of guys were actually leaving but aren't going to say it is because they're getting run off by the newcomers of guys that's coming in here, man. You got a lot of guys that's coming in here. A lot, okay? Atascocita, the offensive tackle Cam Drewberry. This one is one to watch for sure. A&M offered the standout 4-star as the freshman after he started for the Class 6A program opposite current Aggie standout Kenyon Green. Drewberry is very high on A&M, but plans to wait a little bit before making a decision. However, with all the momentum the team has in the Houston area, it is not out of the question he could decide to want in sooner than expected. Ohio State, Oklahoma, and Texas are all major players as well. Keep that in mind. Houston Side Park linebacker Harold Perkins. This the guy that we all want. The 5-star linebacker is one of the Aggies' top overall targets, regardless of position. I have a crystal ball projection in favor of A&M, and the reason that the 6'2.5", 200-pound junior is not higher on this list is that his current plan is to wait until the Under Armour All-American game in January to announce. He really likes A&M though, and is very close to the tight end commit, Donovan Green. So he is another that could throw his timeline out of the window. Told you guys, man, we are the front runners for, if you guys did not know, we're currently the front runners for Mr. Harold Perkins at the moment, okay? Of course, that could all change throughout the year, all right? But we are the front runners as of now. These are the others to watch. Bremen defensive tackle, Jared Bledsoe. I believe we are the front runners for him as well right now. Plano John Paul, the second cornerback, Terrence Brooks. We can never have enough corners, man. I want you guys to know that. We can never have enough corners. North Shore cornerback as well, Denver Harris, in which I pledged, and I can't believe I pledged for that guy, and that guy put A&M in the top 5. I'm sorry, the top 4. I believe he put A&M in the top 4, man. That is crazy to me, man. The Woodlands linebacker, Montrell Harris, Flower Mound, Corindillo, defensive tackle, Jaden Scarlett, Allen. If you guys from Texas, man, y'all know about Allen already. Allen has by far one of the biggest damn high school football stadiums in Texas. Allen offensive lineman, Nito Umazula. That's how you pronounce it. No, I will not repeat it, okay? All right. So that's just a wave of the 2022 prospects that are out there that are looking at A&M, and most of these guys have A&M in either their top 4, top 5, or top 3 to be exact, okay? So please, man, like I said, I love recruiting. You guys have to keep your noses out there and eyes wide open for these recruits. Now that I'll speak about it on the next day after Mr. Bobby Taylor has committed to the program, and man, we were on that guy for a long time, long time. Now after he has committed, we're looking for other prospects. I'm talking about highly rated. If we get Bobby Taylor, Julian Humphrey, and Denver Harris, do you not know what that can do for that cornerback unit? We will have one of the best cornerback groups in the nation. Say that once again. We will have one of the best cornerback groups in the nation. Hell, probably at number 1. All right, so please, man, keep that in mind. Texas A&M is going to higher heights. So I've got a lot of laughs out there. Some laughs from UT fans. We're getting a whole lot of crap from Ohio State fans. All of a sudden they don't like us because of the way we're recruiting. No, we want our players to stay in the state. They're not leaving and going to Ohio. No, you got Quinn Ewers. That's it. Going on. Oh, and you got the wide receiver. I'm sorry. You got our top wide receiver that came out. That's fine. Hey, do your thing. I'm not knocking you guys on that. I hope that Quinn Ewers have a hell of a season, him and this wide receiver. All right? We're not knocking you on that. But we can turn some heads too now. This is still a great state of Texas. And for anybody that doesn't think that A&M is really recruiting the hell out of Texas, I just want you guys to know this. As of right now, we have offered about 47 players in the state of, and that still ain't enough. We have offered about 47 players in the state of Texas alone scholarships. I'm going to say that once again. We have offered 47 players in the state of Texas alone scholarships. All right? That is by far the most, that is by far the number one state that we've offered the most, which is our state. We've offered our state recruits the most, okay? As of right now and as of today, we're winning most of our state. All right? I'm going to say that once again, we're winning most of our state. So you guys just stay tuned for that. All right? But anywho, guys, that is it on tomorrow. I will be releasing something stay tuned, at about at least up to 12 noon. It may be a little bit earlier, but it should be released no later than 12 o'clock noon. I will be back with another podcast video, okay? And on that podcast video, I'm going to talk about our targets, okay? These are going to be all of our targets, all right? I'm going to just give you the names of the targets and stuff like that, and I just want you guys to stay alert on that, all right? So that is it. That is all I have for you guys on today. I thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have a blessed day. Once again, Bobby Taylor has committed to the 2022 class. And once again, Texas A&M is the number 4 class in the nation for the 2022 cycle. It's still early. We know that. But as of right now, we're the number 4 class. All right. Hashtag Eagle Megs.
And thank you guys for tuning in to the hashtag Homemade Podcast Sports. Please, guys, subscribe to the YouTube page and also follow me on Twitter at JPops, on Instagram at JPops, and also on Facebook at hashtag Homemade Podcast Sports. Thank you guys once again. Hashtag Giving Aggies.